Hi everyone, this is Carly from Tyneside Mind, and today I'm going to be attempting automatic drawing or autonomous drawing. If you haven't heard about this before, you're not alone. I've only recently come across this creative technique and I thought it sounded interesting, so I did a bit of research. A lot of artists use this technique to help them when they're feeling stuck or lacking inspiration. It can be used to channel creative energy if you feel you don't have any skill but want to create something. It is also an active way to relax or meditate. So I've been doing a session a day, predominantly before bed, and have found it to be very relaxing, which has been helping me to sleep better. And I figure anything that can help us steer away from worries into fantastic dreams and better sleep at this current time would be worth sharing. So if you're interested in learning more, there are a few videos on YouTube you could watch. Just search for automatic or autonomous drawing. But in this video, I'm going to narrate how I got on when I tried it for the first time. So the idea behind automatic drawing is to just draw. I mean, it sounds easy, but it took me a couple of attempts to get this right. The first rule I learned is to free yourself of any expectations or plans for what you're drawing. It's not supposed to look like anything. And that's when I came up with this masterpiece. I used a digital app for drawing, but a pencil and paper is better, just a lot harder to film. When I finished and compared my art to others' examples, I did think, this is not really what I'm supposed to be doing. Even though I had no expectations and no rules, this method didn't create anything that I really felt excited about or drawn to. It just looked like a mess. And when you see what other people create through automatic drawing, their drawings actually look like a picture. It might be a bunch of gobbledygook, but it is a picture nonetheless. So when I finished this one, I thought I'd try to pick out some shapes to make forms, which was a little more interesting, but didn't create anything of any substance. So I tried again. In my next attempt, I created a rule for myself, which was to try and form shapes, but in a continuous way without any censorship. As I started drawing, I immediately thought, oh no, that's a flower. I can't draw objects, so I immediately censored myself. And I swiftly changed tact to try different line lengths, thickness, and patterns, etc. But then about halfway through, I reminded myself not to censor and began to feel like I was getting the hang of this technique. Instead of trying to create a continuous flow of non-objects, I just started listening to my random thoughts and instincts, even if they did represent objects. My brain says draw here and thinks island, I draw. My brain says draw over here and thinks peas, I do what it says. This began to form a lot more structure and looked more like the automatic drawings I had seen others do, so I tried one last time. So on to my final attempt. Armed with my rules and what I had learnt from my previous attempts, I began to draw, all the while reminding myself the drawing doesn't have to be continuous but more deliberate and contained. It doesn't need to be completely random but instinctual. You can draw things that look like objects, but don't dwell on how they look or try to replicate an object. You also don't have to fill in a page. In the end, I was happy with what I came up with. I spent longer on this drawing than the others, but again, not really thinking, but feeling what I should draw. I couldn't help myself when it looked like a bird. I had to give it wings and a sky to fly in, but viewing it from all different angles gives a different picture, which is what I like the most about it. It's almost a snapshot into my chaotic mind, and it feels really great to see this on a page. It is akin to doodling, but feels a lot more freeing than that. Being able to create something without that nagging perfectionist or fear that you don't have the ability is like a huge stress release. I gained so much from doing this activity that I'm now making it a daily practice. So I hope you enjoyed watching my journey through automatic drawing. I highly recommend giving this a go yourself, but please don't be discouraged if the first attempt is not what you expected. I've learned that this is a skill, but like any skill, practice is key. And if you try this yourself, don't forget to comment or post your pictures below with the hashtag TryItThursday.